Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on mysterious and weird true stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 55, written by user PotatoPixie9210. One more step down the stairs, then her husband was petrified. Let's get into it. Let me preface this by saying that there always were creepy happenings around me, and I have several stories of my dad's old house, which me and my siblings all agree is haunted as hell. I also had a dead best friend visit me twice, which was nice. So this evening, my partner, 42 male, and I, 30 female, were upstairs sorting laundry when his daughter, 17, called us downstairs as dinner was ready. I was heading down the stairs, my partner right behind me, literally 2 steps behind me. He did his usual thing of tickling the back of my neck as we walked. The bottom of our stairs is wooden, so you can hear when somebody steps onto it from the carpeted stairs. When we got to the bottom, my feet hit the floor as usual. I turned to ask him something, and he wasn't there. He wasn't freaking there. I totally froze for a second and looked up the stairs, and there he was, on the top step, pale and shaking. I asked him what the hell just happened, and he kept saying, "I don't know, I was behind you and before I hit the bottom, the next step I took me back upstairs." We were very freaked out. We didn't say anything to our girl as she was already very leery of stuff like this, although he and I are somewhat used to it. I'm trying to get the courage to leave my laptop recording audio overnight because there is something weird happening. Edited to add, I was just talking to my partner about the jump while we were cleaning our bedroom, and the second he made a joke about spooks a-poppin', our bedroom and bathroom door just slammed shut, one after the other. I'm chalking it up to our bedroom window being open a crack. I don't want to think about alternatives. Case notes, file number 55. So I'm just curious, how many sets of stairs does your staircase have? I'm thinking, of course, the longer the staircase, the more bewildering this is. I saw a comment asking if your husband would prank you out this way, and you said that it doesn't seem like his character to do that. Not in a perpetual type of prank, like you never tell them it was a prank, leaving you in this state of unease and fear in your own home. Besides, you'd have heard him if he tried to sprint up a few flights of stairs, no doubt. Unless he's secretly Batman, of course. This is such a strange glitch. Did your husband notice the teleportation, for lack of a better word? Did he feel a force move him, or was he just instantaneously appearing at the top? The author responded to my comment, saying, "So our stairs are made up of 10 steps, with another 3 curved ones at the top that lead to the landing. My partner is very big, built like a bear of a man, approximately 6 foot 4 inches tall. He's quite heavy on his feet. It's a joke in our house that if he's working the night shift, we use his footsteps at 5 a.m. as our alarm clock. He is a prankster, but never on stairs or anywhere that would lead to an accident or harm. He has had a recurring dream where he falls and breaks his neck, so he definitely wouldn't ever do it on stairs. His pranks consist more of the wrap your pillows in toilet roll, tie all your socks together into a snake, or put googly eyes on all your special yogurts thing. On top of that, he knows well that I've had weird experiences. He'd never use them as a prank. Certainly never to leave me feeling anxious and have me standing squinting at our stairs every so often. I'm not religious, but I am spiritual, and I know he would never use that belief in a joke. As for what he felt, he just said he took a step as usual, then felt like he had missed a step. That weird lurching feeling in his stomach we all get when we miss a step. He said when his foot hit the step, he was back at the top of the stairs. He felt nothing except shock as to how the hell he got back up the entire flight of stairs to end up on the very first curved step. Maybe our stairs are cursed because of having 13 steps. So back to my thoughts real quick, just to say that the fact that the steps are curved at the top lends even more credibility to this, because the momentum would be conserved. You couldn't sprint up the stairs, and then turn at a sharp angle and all be silent at the same time. None of this makes any sense at all in that context. Very weird, isn't it? He just teleported up 12 steps to the top, instantaneously. Why and how? Was it actually a ghost or some kind of entity? And why? I wonder. What do you think? Case file number 56, written by user octobertimes. What seems to be their home, haunted, persists with many terrifying incidents. Let's get into it. The home we lived in for over 7 years had something demonic that didn't like my kids. When we first moved in, single mom of 3, we constantly would see dark shadows float from one room to the next. We'd hear odd noises and always had our belongings misplaced. Mind you, this happened the first few years of living there. As the years passed on, we became accustomed to such events and tried to pay no mind to them, being scared silly and praying the episode or experience would hurry up and pass. Fast forward, I met and married my husband. This guy, note the past tense, was a non-believer of anything paranormal until it started messing with him too. One evening I woke to my eldest daughter, 17 at the time, screaming bloody murder from her bedroom. We slept with all our bedroom doors open, one-story, newer built home. I rushed to her room and turned on the light, only to see my husband, her stepdad, standing at the end of her bed. Motherly first instinct, I'm about to mess him up if he was messing with my daughter. She was crying so loud and shaking as I ran to her and hugged her. I screamed at my husband, but he stood blank-faced, staring at my daughter. I yelled again, "What the hell did you do to her?" He snaps out of his trance and my daughter calms down. She said she woke up to him floating by the bed, that his head was close to the ceiling. My husband did not even recall waking up, or walking, or knowing anything that had occurred at all. We all slept in the living room after that. A few weeks later, my daughter, the same one, advised she couldn't sleep because of the growling and scratching in the corner of her room. She would sleep in the living room until she moved out a year later. Whatever it was, ended up bothering my 11-year-old son as well. He would cry and say how it would growl in his ear, scratch by his bed, and bang his window. He ended up in the living room as his sleeping headquarters, or would sleep with his other sister. Fast forward another year, our last week living there, we got our stuff and moved the hell out due to what happened next. My husband would go to work by 5 a.m. As such, he would be getting ready by 3 a.m. On this particular morning, he got up, went to shower, always would close the French doors between the room and restroom to avoid waking me. As he was showering, I'm woken up by all 6 windows in our room being knocked on. It sounded like someone or something was at the windows knocking. I jumped out of bed, ran to the restroom, and told my husband someone was in our backyard. My husband, who was already dressed by this time, grabs his gun. We live in Texas. Runs outside to check, but found nothing. As soon as we were in our room again, the windows were knocked on once more. Keep in mind, they're all being knocked on at the same freaking time. My husband runs out again and starts yelling, thinking someone must be messing with us. But nothing is there. Nada was found. He gives me some unlikely story about maybe it being wind and hurries out the door since he was running late. Not 30 minutes later, as I'm lying in bed thinking about the window crap, I hear a big crash in the kitchen. I run out of my room to see what happened, turned on all the lights, open concept home, remember, to see all my pots and pans from cabinets on the kitchen floor and in the living room. I called my husband, scared out of my mind. As I'm on the phone with him, my son runs into the living room where I'm at and climbs on me, burying his face on my shoulder. He's stuttering to say that something grabbed him by the ankles and pulled him off his bed. As he's telling me this, I can hear sounds coming from his room. I wake up my middle daughter, 15 at the time, as her room was adjacent to his. My husband, still on the phone, tells me to grab the gun, which I did, and both my kids are behind me as we walk towards my son's room. As we approached, we can hear as if someone is in the room, either breaking in or flipping the room upside down. I yelled for whoever it was. "I am on the phone with the police and I have a loaded gun." The lights were still off. I get brave and flick the switch, only for the noises to stop, and the room looks normal. I check the closet, under the bed, and confirm the windows are secured and locked up. No one was in there. My husband hung up as he's clocking into work. My kids and I all get out of the house immediately after this. We drove around until daylight, looking for churches open that could provide holy water. That week, we packed our stuff and left the home, permanently. Case notes, file number 56. It's that feeling of being invaded, in that one place that's supposed to represent absolute security and safety. Your home, your castle, your sanctuary. Under unclear assault, you don't even know what's going on. It's almost cruel. I'm thinking these forces, or demons, whatever you want to call them, they enjoy the torment that it causes. Not just in the moment, but those thoughts that linger on that it'll happen again. I'm curious though, did moving fix it? Do you think it was just your house that was haunted, or did whatever it was follow you to your new place? The author responded to my comment, saying, "Agreed. The negative energy tends to feed off torment. I also believe that, for the most part, the entity or negative energy felt that since we really didn't know how to fix the matter, it somehow grew stronger from our lack of knowledge for things of that nature. We did attempt to bless the home ourselves, holy water and even sage, but we encountered even more happenings from it afterwards. To a normal person who is clueless on such, questions arise of what else is there or how else can we approach this? The extreme happenings were random and not often compared to the shadows or noises and misplaced items. Toward the end is when it got aggressive. The growling and scratches, odors, and throwing of stuff is what really gave us a sense that we really needed to move. After we moved, our new place has been great to us. Whatever it was, didn't follow us. If you like this video, give it a like, and also subscribe on up.